Good morning, everybody. Happy terrific Tuesday. Andrew, you do not look like you having a terrific Tuesday. All right. Good job. Everybody's here. I think we're only missing one person. Excellent, excellent. Wow. That's exciting. Alrighty. I think it's doing that thing again where it's admitting, but it's not admitting. Okay. So, some of you started the mouse exit gizmo. Some of you have not. If you have not, please go ahead and get started on that. All right, and this is the last assignment for this 9 weeks. After that, we'll start on something. We'll finish the other part. We'll do karyotyping. Let me check. I will check on that. All right. So again, last chance, last chance, last chance. If you have something outstanding, please let me know if I need to help you with it. But today is it. Today is it. So make sure you get that done before you do the gizmo, but definitely try to get this gizmo done today and tomorrow, and then we'll move on. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing so I can answer that question. And a reminder too that next week we are, um, oh, okay. Now I'm typing and it's not typing. Why not type? Let's see if I need to open it. All right, Andre, give me a minute to make sure that that's still open. Yeah, it's still open. Okay. Okie dokie dokie dokie. It should. Let me check and see if, because right now I have nothing. Just refresh. Try submitting it again. It should have saved what you did. Okay, I saw the Avani, I saw your email in Outlook, and let me see if I can't get you to do that today rather than having to transfer. And that's the worksheet, right? Yeah, I have to open that back up. All right, please try it again. All right, anybody, because most of the things were set to close on Friday. If there's anything that you need me to open that's good for today. Oh, that's why you sent all those screenshots. Did you save the screenshots you sent me? Because you can submit those. Okay, submit those just the same way you sent it in the email. Send it here, please. Okay. Andre, did it let you submit the test? Try that before you try the gizmo because I do need to see that first. Thank you. Again, I had most assignments closed on Friday, so if you need me to open it for today, please let me know. Let me see if I can pull that up. All right. Quite a few of you have not done the pedigree assignment. I want to make sure that everybody understands how to do that. I got a lot of zeros in that column. All right. The main thing, there was a couple of issues I had with this particular diagram, but the main thing that you need to remember is a male without the trait is going to be a blank box, and a male with the trait will be a square that is shaded. Females of circle are always circles. Blank, they don't have the trait. Darkened, they do have the trait. And that's all we really need to be dealing with. When they do pedigree, they are showing, this particular one is showing 3 generations. The way this picture is represented, hold on, I need to admit somebody. Okay. All right. Good morning. Good morning. I'm just reviewing this worksheet because many people did not turn it in. And then we're going to let everybody finish their mousetrap. And I'm doing this because you had to do Punnett squares. A lot of the worksheets that I looked at did not do the Punnett square. And the Punnett square would, we're not done with them, so you do need to know how to do them. Also, what I started to say earlier is next week we are doing um, that assessment, the practice, the mock, keep forgetting what it's called. But we're doing that mock test next week. Um, and it will ask you to have questions on it about genetics. Like I said, most of you did okay when we did it in December. It's the same test. We're going to be doing it again. And so hopefully you'll do better. The results of the test next week, benchmark, that's the name of the benchmark. Um, the results of that will dictate who I request to come to tutorials, and you have to come to tutorials because the school is going to mandate it. So do your very best. It does not go in the grade book, but it does count as far as we're looking at who needs extra help and who does not. Again, the Georgia milestone is a test that you need to pass. If you don't pass it, you probably have to take it again because it's required by Georgia. It also is 20% of your grade. So if your grade isn't an A, it's going to pull it down to possibly a C or a D, and you don't want that. So we need to make sure that your class grade is as high as possible so that this does not require that you have to retake biology again next year, because biology is also a class that you have to take to graduate. So we do all need to pass biology. Excuse me. All right, that being said, back to this one. So the chart is showing first generation represents the initial parents. And I hope you're watching because, like I said, several of you, I think it is Xander, I think so. That I think unless you have English or math, but I think biology is the only one for the 10th grade. All right, first row is the first generation. The way this picture is showing is that and they're looking at the trait for blue eyes. Blue eyes is recessive. It is recessive to brown eyes. All right, so you would be using small letter B's. That's all right. And they have numbered it. They number things going across the row. So in our first generation, we have 1 and 2. The male does not have blue eyes. And that's all we can really say about this right now. He does not have blue eyes. Right now, we don't know if he's um, heterozygous or homozygous for brown eyes, but he does not have blue eyes. The female is shaded, so she does have blue eyes, which means she would have 2 lowercase b's. Now, in this second generation, which is represented by that Roman numeral 2, we have offspring 1, 2, 3, and 4. Only offsprings 2 and 3 are the children of the first generation. Number 2 here married number 1. Okay. Number 2 has blue eyes. So that tells us that dad up here had to be able to give a lowercase b. So he had to be heterozygous for blue eyes or brown eyes, heterozygous for brown eyes, because he had to be able to give one of the B's that number 2 has. Okay. All right. So in this case, that means that these 2 are heterozygous for brown eyes as well because they had to get one lowercase b from mom. So they got the capital B from dad, and they are heterozygous for brown eyes. All right. This generation right here, so she married a person with brown eyes, but we also, if they had a boy who has blue eyes, then this person that she married also had to be carrying a gene for blue eyes. So they are big B, little b, and this one is little b, creating a son who is also little b. Okay. All right. So that's how we read this one. For this question, for the second question, you had to draw the Punnett square. And some of you just either guessed at it or did it on the side and did not include the Punnett square, but I took off if you did not include. You had all this space right here. You were supposed to draw the Punnett square. All right. It says if individual 2 in generation 3. So first row is generation 1. Second row is generation 2. And these last 2, there's 2 boys in generation 3. And this is it. So this would be 1, Let me make this bigger so I can make sure that y'all are seeing who I'm pointing to. So this would be person one. This would be person two. So it says, if individual two in generation three were to marry a woman who was normal for blood clotting. So assuming that this person is, and it is sex linked, so you would have to have an X, capital H, and sorry, an X, this is a boy. So this is X with a lowercase h y. And you should label that X lowercase h y. That's a male. They're going to marry a woman who has two X's with capital H's. She is normal. She's not a carrier for blood type, for hemophilia. Okay, so then in order to answer the question, you had to draw a Punnett square. And let me see, I'm not able to do that on here. So let me see how I can do that for you. I think I did that one on, let me pull up my Canva. I might have drawn it already on there. Nope. So that was the other worksheet. So let's draw that one. All right, so I'm going to make this box a little bigger. I'm going to put mom on top, so she is X, capital H. I'm gonna make it bigger in a minute. Oops, I put both of them in the same box. It's not supposed to be. All right. And I'm doing this because somebody asked me about Punnett squares. So I'm using this worksheet because majority of you haven't done it. And if you're one of those folks who haven't done it, you should be paying attention. All right, so that's mom, the person he married. And this is the grandson. Case H, Y. Oops, did it again. Make that big so you can see it. Teeny tiny, teeny tiny, teeny tiny. All right, so let's go over here and let me just make this big to begin with. All right, so in this box, we're going to have X, H, and X lowercase h, because we put these two in that box. Now we're going to put these two in this box. All right, then we're going to put these two in this box. And I forgot to make it bigger. Okay. So that's the box. That's the box that should have gone on the worksheet for that. Now to answer the question wanted to know What was the question? Where am I? All right, the question said, what is the chance that their first child will be hemophiliac? All right, so we look at all the boxes. Now, again, each one of these boxes represents a 25% possibility. It doesn't mean that the first box is the first child. It means these are the four possibilities of the children these two parents can have. Those are the only possibilities. Okay, so then you have to read the box and say two of the girls are carriers. And I put that wrong. God didn't even stop me. That should have been X. All right, here we go. All right, so two of the girls are carriers. They will not have hemophilia. And the boys will be okay as well because they're going to get that X, that capital H for mom. Okay. So the chances of any of their children having hemophilia first, second, third, or fourth is 0. Okay. The girls, the boys are not carriers. They're just going to be normal. The girls will all be carriers, but they will not have hemophilia. Okay. That's how you do that. All right. This question, most of you got that part correct. Is this part down here? Again, you were supposed to draw the Punnett square for this. So again, we have 3 generations. If 1 and 2 in generation 2, so that's this second row here, and if we label them, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 individuals in second generation. These 4 children in the middle are the offspring of the parents in 1. These 2 on the end got married. Okay. All right. So we are looking at 1 and 2, the daughter who got married. And what are we looking at here? Albinism. And we're looking for capital D to represent normal and lowercase d's to represent someone who is albino. All right, so that tells us that this female is albino, and it looks like she married a male who is not albino. That's what this is telling us. So we are looking at 1 and 2. So it says if 1 and 2 in the second generation had another child, what is the chance of that child being normal? All right. Right now, they have, right now they had one child one female child who is going to be albino. So that means dad had to have given AD, that one of the lowercase d's. So he's got to be heterozygous. She can't be albino without getting one from mom, one from dad. So when we draw our chart, and again, I'm doing the chart for you. There it is. Oops. All right, let me get rid of one. Make this one bigger. All right, so mom. And let me start by making these letters bigger. Mom is lowercase d. Why did it get so small? And again, folks, if you draw the Punnett squares give you the answer. So don't try to do these without drawing the Punnett square. Because if you do the Punnett square right, then it gives you and you read the box correctly, it gives you the answer. Again, you have to be able to read the question. All of these are always going to be word problems. You have to read the question and look at the diagram correctly. All right, so we decided dad had to be heterozygous because one of the girls is albino. All right, so once you do the Punnett square, Got a big D, little d in that box. Hmm. Big D, little d in that box. And another little d in that box. All right, so we're doing possibilities. These two down here, definitely albino. These two up here are carriers. And so the answer to the question is, if we're looking at the chance, it's 50% chance because in that box, there's of the four possibilities, 50% of them are definitely going to be albino. Okay. So again, it's a probability. So it's a 50% chance that the next child will also be albino. Now this is not a sex linked characteristic, so we didn't have to worry about putting X's and Y's on it, but you know whether they're male or female according to the pedigree chart, but we don't know whether the next one will be a boy or a girl, but we do know that it's a 50% chance that the next child can be albino. Okay. All right. A woman has two X's. Okay, I got you. Now, X as in female, not in ex-husband or ex-wife. Right. Andrew, you're funny. All right. So again, if you did not do that worksheet, I just did those two for you. Some of you, I returned it because I didn't return it. I just took points off because you gave me answers without Punnett squares. So there they are. All right. Let me leave that up. Let me see if I can't drag that next to this one so you can see both at the same time. All right. So that went with the Harry Potter um, pedigree page. I've yet to understand why they call it a Harry Potter pedigree page, unless Harry Potter. They had somebody who was albino in Harry Potter? Maybe. I forget. I've seen them, but I'm not a expert on Harry Potter. And maybe somebody had hemophilia. I don't know that either. So why this particular worksheet was called Harry Potter and Pedigree. Yeah, I watched it after the fact. I guess they just put that up there just to be interesting. Because I see nothing, 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 nothing. So none of y'all are Harry Potter fans. Interesting. All right. I'm going to stop talking, let you work on whatever you need to work on. If you have trouble with the mouse gizmo, please let me know. Now I'm curious. No characters in Harry Potter can be explicitly described as having albinism. It says while characters like Draco and Luna, are described as having pale skin and blonde hair and light features. They are not albinos. I had to find an answer to that question. All right, let me ask if anybody was a hemophilia. Nope. So again, I have no idea why they stuck that title on there. I guess that's to make it interesting. Nobody had hemophilia either. Okay. Yes, I will do that right now. Oh, got the wrong glass. It is fixed. All right. So if you are not working on an old assignment that needs to be in today, you are working on the mouse gizmo. And again, I did that pedigree practice because I'm still seeing a lot of zeros on that. Mm, I like that idea. Andre, please work on that test. I still don't see it. All right, so again, we're coming down on the last 5 minutes. You should be wrapping up that mouse gizmo if you're not working on something else. Mouse gizmo is going on this 9-week report card, so tomorrow's the deadline for that. Okay. Some of you, I sent a message. I didn't get a response. I am going to be present for tutorial this afternoon if you need further assistance. And again, we are preparing for the benchmark test next week, probably will be next Tuesday. So for that, you need to go back and review all the modules that we've done so far. Okay. All right, folks. If you are in a good place to stop, go ahead and do so. Again, I'll be here this afternoon if you need to pop back in for some extra help. Tomorrow again is the last day we're going to be working on the mouse gizmo, and then we're going to move on from there. That is due on this 9-week report card. So let's make sure we get that done. And anything else you need me to grade should be already in by today. Thank you much. Have a great rest of your day.